Hello and welcome back to the Cozy Club, my friends. My name is Cozy Gamer. It is good to have you here, and today we have a free-to-play video. Now, I know a lot of the videos that I have here on the channel talk about the new characters, and a lot of you free-to-play players are looking at these characters saying, Cozy, this is great. I'm not going to be able to use X amount of character until 2 months down the road. So for today's video, I took a poll of some of the top DSA players and I asked them, what are your top free-to-play characters within Disney Sorcerer's Arena? Now for free-to-play, these are going to be characters that you have to get without getting them in packs or special events only. These are characters that you can farm, maybe not right out the gate because some of them are a little level capped like later in the campaigns, but they are free to get and start farming after. They're going to be in no specific order except for the top 5. Those will be in somewhat of a specific order, but I'm excited to get this to you guys. These are the heroes that you want to focus on when you start your DSA journey. You know, ones that you're going to want to specifically target. Start creating your team. We've got some plug and play heroes. We've got specific team builds. Overall, you should walk away from this video and know exactly who you want to go after. And just in case you don't know who to farm after this video as well, we will be having the complete farming guide in August. So if you want to know the exact order of what characters to farm that I recommend to get prepared for event characters, which will not be in this guide, mainly because I feel like they're a little bit out of the free-to-play range. Yes, I realize technically Zerg is free-to-play, but we're going to focus on the heroes that are a little bit more accessible and a little less of the money. If this video is not for you, feel free to check out in the top right corner my guide to being a whale or a chubby dolphin. If you want to spend a little bit money in this game, feel free to do it right there. Now, these 15 characters I have all personally farmed myself. I'm going to show you exactly where to farm these characters so you know exactly where to jump into. If you haven't already, we've got great community across the board. We've got a great Patreon community. We have a Discord community. I'm on Twitch 3-4 times a week. Feel free to check the description below to join those awesome communities. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the list. Now let's start with someone who's been getting a lot of attention on my videos since I started doing videos on DSA, and that's going to be Captain Jack Sparrow. Now, Captain Jack Sparrow is going to make the list mainly because of A, being a great plug and play toon, and B, he is easy to get right off the bat. He helps out in tower, and then he's got a nice bump up with all this oceanic love we've been getting lately. He fits in nice into that squad. However, if you don't have oceanics, he's good to plug into a kingdom team. He's good to plug into most conquest teams. Overall, very solid hero. He's got the best debuff in the game, with it being Charm. He's got decent damage and a good AoE, and doesn't need help around him. Now, the best part of Jack Sparrow is that you're going to be able to get him from the club exchange. It's very easy to get this currency. You should be able to unlock Jack Sparrow somewhat quickly. You're going to see packs come up when you get them. Ignore the packs. Jack Sparrow is a solid hero. Should work with most of your teams, and all these heroes on this list you should be using in your entire DSA journey. All right, let's hop on over to the 14th hero. Again, no specific order, and this will be Dr. Facilier. Now, we've talked about Doctor on this channel a lot. Mainly, he's a tower king. You know how good he is in the PvE game modes. He has just survived no matter what has come into this game. He's always relevant in some form or fashion. Again, he's got kind of a great utility kit that can work with many teams. He's going to count as a downtown villain, which will help in many events that you see, from the Zerg event to getting that cashola from the Scrooge event. Overall, just a solid hero in this game. Again, the Doc was my personal first 7-star that I went after. He helped me through all aspects throughout the game and the progression through the game. So do yourself a favor and go after the Doc. Now let's hop on over to the next character on this list, and it's going to be the mythical, magical Genie. Now, he's not a mythical character. He's actually a kingdom character, but Genie does so many things well, and let's go ahead and hop into what those are. Now, Genie fits the exact mold of the characters that we've talked about already. He's a great plug and play hero. He can fit in with the kingdom team quite nicely, but something I like about Genie in particular is if you had a pretty rubbish team all around him, but Genie was solid and you had Peter Pan Shadow, clone away and he does some ridiculous damage. As those Peter Pan shadows start to stack up, you're going to see your damage on Genie just expand exponentially. Now, apart from that, he can also cleanse harmful effects, put silence on other heroes. Again, he's a great hero for any game mode. He can save people from dying, throw the invincibility on them. Overall, solid tune. Now, moving on to this next character, it is someone that has survived the meta over and over, finding himself in different teams, and so he's a very safe bet. Now, you're not going to be able to get this character till a little bit further down the line, and that is going to be Mr. Scrooge McDuck, Moneybags himself. Let me talk about Scrooge and why he is such a great free-to-play character and just a safe investment overall. His whole kit, again, is built off helpful effects, and so he's going to be doing more damage the more helpful effects that he has on him. Helpful effects are not going anywhere in this game, and so you've got a kit that is going to be relevant no matter where we are in the meta. He's going to be doing great damage. He's got an attack and a defense kind of set. He flips a coin, puts defense up, or he does attack and haste. He's got a great passive that rips helpful effects from the enemy team, so people like Frozen, you can rip those taunts off. We all know how hard it is to get taunts away from the enemy right now. So overall, Scrooge could be very high. If there was a ranking, he would be pretty high up on the list. Now that Tech Team's out there, now that Gizmo's out there, he's got even more reason to find his spot in the meta. He's got a great spot on the Oceanic Wall free-to-play team. That's a very solid team. And overall, again, safe characters is what we're aiming for here. Someone that if you invest in, you've got to be careful with your resources. So these characters on this list, most of them, if not all of them, are very safe bets that are going to be sticking around no matter, I don't want to say no matter what meta comes, but for the future that we can see in DSA. Now let's hop on over to our 11th character, Mr. Ian from Onward. Now Ian is now a newly free-to-play character. He got put into the Grand Campaign not too long ago. After all this, I'll be putting all the locations on screen that you guys can see where to farm these characters. You can get access to him pretty early on, and when paired up with Barley, he's an absolute unit. His AoE is something you've got to plan for, and it can actually devastate and kill entire teams. The reason I like Ian and Barley, and again, spoiler alert, the next hero is Barley, and we'll get to him in a second. But the reason I like Ian and Barley together is mainly you don't have to focus on other heroes outside of them. Right now, Manicore is pay to play. We don't have access to her as of yet. But these two guys, you get them alone. You can pair them with Judy Hopps, some other mythical combination. There's several things you can put Ian Barley with, and they work very well. Now, I know players that put them on tech teams. I know players that build teams around them because they're simply that solid. So we might as well, while we're talking about both of them, let's jump to number 10, Mr. Barley as well. Now, Barley's incredible because he's able to strip taunt, increase cooldowns, help out Ian do incredible things, and then, of course, he can give just significant buffs to characters on your team. Now, Barley's a little bit harder to get than Ian. You'll have to do a bit more refreshes in order to unlock him, but keep in mind, Barley does what he does well. At early star levels, you don't have to max him out right away to get the utility that you're looking for from Barley. A nice little tip is, if they're an offense hero, for the most part, you're going to want a lot of star count on them. So when you're kind of trying to divide your stars and where to put them, try to put a lot of your energy and your focus on the offensive heroes, whereas support characters and some of these characters that you just want to really use them for the abilities that they have, you don't have to star them so much. Like Hero's a great example. He's not on this free-to-play list as he's not currently free to play. However, you don't have to have him start up because he's mainly used for that evade and that upgrade ability, so you can avoid just grinding those stars and just get right to it. Now, the best part of Barley is he just complements Ian so well, and you don't want to split these two up. Put them together and they wreak some havoc on the enemy. Now, number 9 on this list is one of the control kings amongst DSA, and a character you get very, very early on in your journey, and that is going to be Sorcerer Mickey. Now, let me tell you this right off the bat, Sorcerer Mickey is one of those characters that get a lot better as you keep gearing him up, so stay patient with him. He puts out a lot of damage, and his control is absolutely insane. He can get mass slows out there with a big whirlpool AoE. He's also got the brooms, which no matter what state you are in the game, he does great damage with them. It reduces turn meter, and all around, he's a nice plug into that Kingdom team. The Kingdom team we're going to keep talking about today is the go-to free-to-play team. Now, with tech teams coming out outside of Gizmo, you have a little bit more of a free-to-play team with them. But if you want to solely focus on free-to-play. It's going to be Kingdom. Yes, you can get Frozen as well, but the Kingdom team is going to survive the metas before it as we keep on getting new characters. Sorcerer Mickey is an absolute great plug-in character with them. Usually makes the final rosters, and I'm still facing them even at in-game today. I see plenty of people using Sorcerer Mickey among some of the best players within DSA. Now the evil king of the underworld is coming in at number 8, and I love it because just about everyone said the exact same thing about Hades. Hades has phenomenal speed, does intense and incredible damage, but the one downside everyone keeps saying is to completely max out Hades. I would hate to call this a free-to-play experience. Getting him up to T6 6 gear is not a tough thing to do. However, finishing off that T7 gear is an absolute nightmare. Take it from someone who's done it themselves. Just completely ridiculous how much gear he does take to get to T7. But if you just wanted to focus on the early game, mid game, and even late game into T6 and level 60, phenomenal hero. But to get the most bang out of him, he'll need to be T7. But keep in mind, mythicals are on the rise. It's going to help you get Stitch. You're going to need him in Tower 5. There's more and more reasons to get mythicals, and they might be the next faction that get that nice oceanic bump up that we've seen now. And so I would recommend going after Hades. He's going to be solid, even more solid, when Hercules eventually makes it into this game. So if you have FOMO, you might fear that Hercules will pop in the next 2 months. Go after Hades. He's going to do you solid in all of your squads. Go after Hades if you just are missing that extra spot on your team and you want someone that's a catch-all and can do everything. Let's go ahead and talk about the first tank on the board, and that's Jasmine. Princess Jasmine is an incredible hero that just keeps getting better as the game goes on. She's been seeing some buffs lately that's going to make her much more usable and very free-to-play friendly from the start of the game. As far as accessible tanks go, Jasmine is the easiest to obtain. She's one of the fastest tanks within DSA, and she's helpful in both PvP and PvE. Her synergy with Aladdin shouldn't be overlooked, and primarily is just an amazing character. When ran under Shawn, you can get Raja out there very quickly. If you're in tower, get Raja out there again very quickly. Now in PvE, Raja's also great for sucking up that early damage. Jasmine's going to help you in all facets of the game, and you should see her even late into the later phases of the game. I still face Jasmine's to this day. Raja's been eating his beef regularly. He's got some amazing health now, and overall, with getting Sorcerer Mickey early and Aladdin and Shawn, these are just characters that you should form that basic free-to-play team about if you want just a solid go-to team that's going to do well from early, middle, and late game. All right, let's hop on over to the next tank, and that'll be Kristoff. Now, Kristoff is probably the best tank in Disney Sorcerer's Arena when he is paired up with his Frozen crew. Sven is not on this list, spoiler alert. However, Sven's also a great alternative to get in a free-to-play character when paired up with Kristoff. Now let's talk about some of the things that Kristoff does well. He's got great synergy with Anna and Sven. He's required to get Elsa. His trolls are wonderful within tower. Creates more opponents for the enemy to attack, so it lessens that RNG as you get through towers. And just overall, just a solid character that you're not going to regret going after. He's in the club exchange, very accessible and very easy to get. Grab him in the club exchange as you grab Jack Sparrow, and let's go to number 5. Best free-to-play characters within DSA. This is from my opinion and also the survey that I took. These are gonna be the top 5. Previously, these other characters were not in any specific order, and now these ones will be the top 5 that I recommend going after in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Let's get right to it, starting with Aladdin. Now, Aladdin is an amazing character that you start out very early on with. You're going to have him through your entire journey, and you'll be using him a lot. So the plus side, you'll know his kit very well. Pair him up with Jasmine. You've got some incredible synergy. And let's look at what Aladdin does so well, other than just being an awesome character. First of all, he's going to have great damage, good survivability with that evades that he continues to put on himself. He's got great control, and of course, the Kingdom synergy is key to get that speed boost under Shawn and go right out the gate, put slows on the enemy, and have the start of the battle in your control. You're going to be able to control the battle from there. So even if you just had Shawn, Jasmine, and Aladdin, you could plug in 2 random characters, and at least you've got a start of the match with a tank out there in Raja, Aladdin slows, Shawn big hits, and then again, have fun with it. do whoever you want. I recommend obviously going after a kingdom team there, but that just shows that he's such a staple of that kingdom team. I faced many Aladdins even in the later phases of the game. He'll hold up with great damage and overall a very easy character to farm. Number 4 on this list would be a lot higher if he didn't have his one con. Let's just get it out of the way. It's going to be Captain Gantu. And Captain Gantu is a very new character here in DSA. We're in August. He just launched last month, and the con to Captain Gantu is he is a little bit hard to farm currently. You can only get him from one node. It is not the easiest to get his shards. However, he still is a free-to-play character, and let's jump into why he's so incredible. First of all, the easy fact is he dumps out ridiculous damage. Captain Gantu can pump out incredibly powerful attacking AoEs that put out mass slow, mass damage, and he doesn't really need anyone else around him to do his job. If you had all level 1s and just a huge tanky Captain Gantu, he could pretty much carry the team by himself at early stages, especially PvE content. He'll be great for Tower 3 with those oceanic characters, Tower 5 as well, and Gantu just lays down the heat when facing other teams. Now, one thing I love about Captain Gantu is his counter chance. He lays out some heavy hits with the counters that he continually does whenever his teammates get attacked. He's got this kind of permanent taunt on him, even though he doesn't have any taunt, because the enemy is going to be forced to attack your Gantu. Now, in PvE content, it's amazing because obviously the enemies don't know the difference to go after Captain Gantu or not. Now, if Elsa were to do the show yourself, she gets the 4 charges and does her first initial attack. I've seen multiple times Captain Gantu pull out the pistol and kill Elsa before she can even get off her show yourself. Gantu's got many uses in DSA. He's going to be growing more and more with this apparent amazing oceanic team that we're going to have what seems like months to come. Again, counterattacks are brutal. He's going to be a solid character. Start farming him now early on, especially if you just started your journey in DSA. And once you are able to unlock him in the campaign notes, he's going to be in the villain campaign. And once you get to that villain campaign, start unlocking him. Throw a couple shards, throw some energy his way every day so that you can build him up. He'll help you get Stitch, go through those Stitch towers early on. There's not enough good things I can say about Papa Gantu. We're on the top 3 of the list, and you're not gonna be surprised with this one. It's Shawn Yu, and Shawn Yu has stuck around for every single meta. Excellent lead on him. He's gonna make Kingdom a lot faster. He's the core tune to go after when you're running a Kingdom faction. It's not even worth running Kingdom unless you have Shawn Yu. Now, everything Shawn Yu does is amazing. He's got an incredibly hard-hitting basic that can hit multiple enemies. His Hawk puts defense down. He can remove speed turn meter and does powerful critical hits on the enemies. Overall, his passive is one of the best in the game, and you just can't go wrong getting Shawn Yu. Now that he is farmable both from energy and the tournament exchange, there's no excuse to try to get this character as early as possible. If you don't have him in your roster, the only good reason to justify that is you just don't have any interest in the Kingdom teams. However, even if you just had Anna and Shawn Yu, you can put them together to get other teams going a lot faster. Shawn Yu's a great lead essentially then for any faction, as he'll be able to get people moving faster, which means more abilities, more attacks, and devastating your enemy. Okay, number 2 on this list is going to be probably a little surprising to you guys, but he is the new must-go-for free-to-play character within Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and that is going to be Cobra Bubbles, my friends. Let's talk about the Kobe and why he's so efficient and amazing in every single team that he goes in. Now, his entire kit is great for plug and play. He can go in any team and help them. He fits well, literally, with every single team in DSA. He's easily the newest must-have farm like we talked about. And guess what? He's got a complete package when it comes to his abilities. He's got a crazy hard-hitting basic attack that when it's paired with Peter Pan Shadow gets ridiculous with the amount of suitcases you see flying at the enemy. It can put slow on the enemy. He can put a new debuff called Intimidate. He can put silence on the enemy. He can cleanse, grant turn meter. There's not enough good things I can say about Cobra Bubbles. And overall, he's going to be fitting very nicely in with the Oceanics. But him and Gantu are a powerful duo just with them two, that if you went after them and then farmed yourself other teams around him, you're going to be sitting in a great spot no matter where you're at in DSA. Now, Bubbles does incredible damage. He's a great support character but there's one character that is a best support character in the game and the best free-to-play character in the game. No matter what, day one, go after this character. The number one character on this list, my friends, is gonna be Anna. Now, first of all, Anna is a kingdom character, so she's going to fit in so nicely with that Shawn lead that we've talked about earlier. She's got a mass AoE down that's essentially making the enemy not skip a turn, but they might as well not even use their turn, as their abilities are going to hit a lot less hard. She also has an incredible special that gives haste and turn meter to the characters around adjacent to her. She's got a basic attack that can call to assist. She's needed to get Elsa within the game. She's fast. I can't say enough good things about Anna. She's got a lead that can work if you didn't even have Shawn. It's going to heal characters once they get below, I think it's 60% health. She'll put defense up on them, continuous healing. She'll be extending helpful effects on them. Overall, Anna doesn't do anything bad. There's no critiques that I could do to make Anna's kit any better. Overall, Anna's just an amazing character. Now, there you have it. There are the top 15 best free-to-play characters in DSA as voted by some of the best players within DSA. Now, keep in mind, you do want to farm synergy. You want to be putting your kingdom heroes together to make a team. You can't just get a team of Anna, Cobra, Shawn, Aladdin, and Gantu. Although that would hold up somewhat well. You want to go for synergy when going after these heroes. But if you're questioning what to farm and what to go after next, this is a great place to start. Speaking of farming these characters, here's a look at this graphic on screen right now, telling you exactly where to farm them. Now, yes, you do see people like Gantu and Jasmine and Genie and Barley that are a little bit harder to get. However, they're very much worth the time and the effort putting into them. Shawn and Anna are easy grabs, being both in the exchange and in the campaign modes. You can go ahead and get Jack Sparrow and Kristoff in those club exchange. Very easy node. Ian, you can grab very early on in the grand campaign. Only 3H there to grab Ian. Hades is in the tournament exchange. Focus Anna and Shawn first, but when you're not doing that, you can grab him from the Villains 5C. Aladdin, 3K in the Grand Campaign, and Villains 2A. So overall, all these characters are not the hardest characters to get. Now, people like Scrooge will take a little bit of time. You'll get him as you progress through the game. However, a lot of the ones we mentioned and the top 5 really best ones outside of Cobra and Gantu, you can get very early on in DSA, guys. And again, there you have it. There's all the best characters that you can farm on your DSA journey that are free to play. Now, keep in mind, Glue has been doing a great job at putting new characters in the free-to-play spot whenever a new event comes out. They sometimes are dropping in these farmable locations, which is a very nice touch that we don't have to buy them right out the gate. Now, Moana and Maui, they're a different example. You had to purchase them or have Oceanic characters ready to get them. But keep in mind, let's say you want to go after Moana and Maui, just focus on these Oceanics. Get Cobra, get Gantu, Captain Hook from the Club Exchange. You can find ways to get these pay-to-play players. You just have to plan out ahead of time. And yes, you're not going to be the first on the market to have and use the character. Now, if you want to see how these characters perform, please stop on by the Twitch stream. You'll have a great time while checking out just how good these characters are when you get them unlocked. We've got great content coming to you both on the Twitch channel and here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And until next time, my friends, stay cozy.